Samsung Galaxy A54 5G specs, everything you need to know. From the chipset to the display and beyond, here's what the Galaxy A54 5G spec sheet tells us. Samsung's Galaxy A5X series is one of the most popular mid-range series, selling millions of units around the world. They're one of the easiest to recommend smartphones, thanks to their good value and feature mix. The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G continues on the mid-range A-series legacy with an improved camera setup and a few other incremental upgrades across the board. Here's everything you need to know about the Samsung Galaxy A54 5G, including its specifications and more. Samsung Galaxy A54 5G. Improved camera package, bright display, Wi-Fi 6. The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G looks to refine last year's hardware platform and take it a step forward. Now with Wi-Fi 6, a brighter screen, and refined camera package. Samsung Galaxy A54 5G specs. Samsung Galaxy A54. Display. 6.4-inch Infinity O Super AMOLED. FHD+, 2340 by 1080. 19.5:9 aspect ratio. 120 Hz dynamic refresh rate. 1000 nits peak brightness. HDR support. Gorilla Glass 5. Processor. Samsung Exynos 1380. GPU. ARM Mali-G68 MP5. RAM. 6 GB. Storage. 128 GB UFS 3.1. MicroSD card support up to 1 TB. Battery and charging. 5000 mAh battery. 25W wired charging. No wireless charging. No charger in the box. Cameras. Rear. 50 MP main. f/1.8 aperture, OIS. 12 MP ultrawide. f/2.2 aperture, 123° FOV, 1.12 micrometers. 5 MP macro. f/2.2 aperture. Front. 32 MP. f/2.2 aperture, 1/2.8 inch, 0.8 micrometers. Video. Rear. 4K at 30 fps. 1080p at 30/60 fps. Front. 4K at 30 fps. 1080p at 30 fps. Audio. Stereo speakers. Dual mics. No 3.5mm port. Security. In-display fingerprint. Samsung Knox. 5 years of security updates. Water resistance. IP67. Connectivity. Wi-Fi 6. Bluetooth 5.3. NFC support. GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, Beidou. Software. One UI 5.1 based on Android 13. Materials. Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back. Polycarbonate midframe. Dimensions and weight. 158.2 by 76.7 by 8.2 mm. 202G. Colors. Awesome graphite. Awesome violet. The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G doesn't need to change what isn't broken. Galaxy A-series phones have been widely appreciated by the audience for their practicality, even if the spec sheet warriors find shortcomings. To that extent, the Galaxy A54 5G does not attempt to reinvent the wheel, and it brings refinement to a mature product that was the Galaxy A53 5G 5G. One of the big highlights of the Galaxy A54 5G is its rear design. Samsung has chosen to opt for a glass back instead of polycarbonate. This adds 13 g of weight to the device over its predecessor. The rear design is also much simpler, with simpler appearances for the individual camera modules, instead of the bulging camera island from the Galaxy A53 5G. The Galaxy A54 5G is actually slightly shorter and wider than the outgoing Galaxy A53 5G, a change that is reflected in the 19.5:9 aspect ratio of the display. The display diagonal has also gone down to 6.4 inches for the 120Hz FHD plus Super AMOLED display. The phone also has rounder corners, which makes it easier to grab and rest on your palm. All in all, these exterior changes to the Galaxy A54 5G refresh it in line with the flagship Galaxy S series design. While the midframe still is polycarbonate, the rear glass on the back should find favor with a lot of people. We also really like the cleaner look of the phone. Some may find it boring, but the Galaxy A54 5G comes in two colors, awesome violet, awesome graphite, that are pleasing to the eye. Note that the US does not get the white and green colors, yet. On the inside, the Galaxy A54 5G upgrades to the Exynos 1380 SoC from the Exynos 1280 SoC on the Galaxy A53 5G. This is another modest upgrade at best. There are more powerful Snapdragon chips out there in the mid-range, and more value-efficient Dimensity chips too. For consumers having a mixed usage of daily telephony tasks, long multimedia and social media usage, and light gaming, the Exynos 1380 will serve just fine. However, if you are a gamer, you should be exploring alternatives, as the Exynos historically has not been a gaming-oriented chipset. What the Exynos 1380 does bring is support for UFS 3.1 storage, which the Galaxy A54 5G is readily taking advantage of. There's also microSD card expandability up to 1 TB, which is frankly amazing. You don't need to spend more money on a higher storage variant. Samsung only sells the 128GB variant in the USA anyway, as you can just use a microSD card for storing your photos and videos. There's also 6GB of RAM, although Samsung has unfortunately not disclosed the RAM technology. The other big change on the Galaxy A54 5G is the camera setup. The number of megapixels on the primary camera has been reduced from 64MP to 50MP, but it's actually an upgrade as the sensor is larger. The number of cameras has also reduced from 4 to 3, and this is also a welcome change, as a dedicated 5MP depth camera was a questionable decision on the Galaxy A53 5G. If you'd like to know about all the changes on the new phone, check out our in-depth comparison of the Galaxy A53 5G versus Galaxy A54 5G. Other good tidbits on the Galaxy A54 5G include the upgrade to Wi-Fi 6 that will help the phone stay future-proof, the retention of the IP67 rating for water resistance, and the great software update promise from Samsung. You still get 4 years of Android platform updates and 5 years of security updates, a promise that is matched only by Apple and Google in the mid-range. If you intend your phone for a long time, which you should, then the Galaxy A54 5G makes a strong argument. Samsung Galaxy A54 5G specs versus the competition, how does it compare? The Samsung Galaxy A54 5G comes in at $449 for its 6GB per 128GB storage variant. Historically, the mid-range market in the US has been rather dry and uncompetitive. But in the past few years, we have had some great options that have trickled down into the sub-$500 price range. This space also sees older flagships get heavily discounted, which tips the scales in their favor for users who prefer a stronger spec sheet than the Galaxy A54 5G. Here are some great competitive options against the Galaxy A54 5G.